After a 4-year box office hiatus, Will Packer is back in his theatrical bag with the new rom-com You, Me, and Tuscany starring Halle Bailey and Regé-Jean Page.
This story takes us on an Italian escape and everyone gets lost in the sauce in the messiest ways.
And what would a Black-led big studio movie release be without the obligatory timeline discourse? This time it's all about showing and proving yet again.
Yeah, but more on that later. But you know, any movie worth my time has me leaving the theater with all sorts of questions. Like, are Italians really this friendly to black travelers in real life? What kind of sorcery was Anna using to fit all those cute looks into one little shoulder duffel bag? And how much will a week in the Italian countryside set a brother back? Because it might be time for me to hit it for real, for real.
Okay, I see we have lots to talk about today.
And it's movie day. I'm Ray Love Jr.
And I'm Tre'vell Anderson, and we are Seated.
The Blackest show about movies.
If you are new here, new to the congregation, thank you so much for joining us. Grab a plate, take a seat. Okay, if you've been here before, that means you know the drill. Like, comment, and subscribe.
What are you waiting for? Do it now. Also, tap into our Seated Movie Club at seatedshow.com/join, where we're bringing you more of this popcorn-worthy energy with exclusive content and more.
And now it's time to introduce our very special guest, our first guest that we've ever had here on the Seated Show with us. Today we are joined by one of my favorite voices in film criticism, okay? The pen is mighty, okay? Brooke Obie, award-winning entertainment journalist and critic.
A little bit about Brooke. She launched her subscriber-based film and TV criticism platform, Black Girl Watching, in December 2024. And within the first year after a series of viral film and TV criticism, Black Girl Watching was listed in the top 100 film and TV newsletters on Substack, peaking at number 2 earlier this year. Join us in welcoming our girl Brooke to the show.
Pew, pew, pew.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Honored to be your first guest.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because also we say your name on this show often. Because I just always have to tell the people, y'all need to go to Black Girl Watching and get into what Brooke said, because my God. Okay.
And I'm always seated and listening to y'all, so I hear it and I appreciate it and I love it and I thank y'all so much. Y'all are my favorites. So.
All right, so beautiful. So we are gonna do our show like normal, and Brooke will just be joining us. We'll get started with our Fresh Out segment. This is where we do capsule reviews of things that largely Ray is seeing in the theater because he likes to make use of that AMC Stubbs pass. Okay, honey. So Ray, what is the latest thing that you have been seeing?
I've seen 2 movies that coincidentally are both, I guess, in the rom-com space. April, end of March must be the new period of time for rom-coms because we've been getting quite a few. And Tre'vell, have you noticed this will be like the 3rd consecutive episode we're doing on a movie that has a bride or romantic theme in it so far? This is kind of...
You love a trend. You love a trend.
I sure do. Anyway, the movies that I've seen this week that I think are worth mentioning is Fantasy Life. Have either of you heard about this one?
I have not.
Great. So I get to tell you all about it. So Matthew Shear plays a law school dropout who's low-key going through it until he starts babysitting for this therapist's grandkids and catches real feelings for their mom, which is played by Amanda Peet, who's like, I think, making her return back to film. And she's already dealing with a whole mess of her own. She plays an actress who was like, I think, popular in her youth and trying to re-enter the industry. I thought it was a cute movie, but I will probably say this is something that you could just wait to stream. It's a cute story, but it doesn't really have enough tension and action to justify a whole trip to the theaters and all the rigmarole, but it was cute. It was cute.
Any Black people in it?
Actually,
If you gotta think, that means it wasn't prominent.
Actually, I thought about it because there was one Black character that I thought was interesting, because there's a point in the movie where they go to Martha's Vineyard, and just to set the background for the character, the lead guy, he's Jewish, and he's a law school dropout. Turns out they bump into each other with, this is not giving anything away, they bump into each other in the supermarket and have like a reunion of sorts, and he asks her what she's doing, and it's kind of a moment where he's sharing that he's just a manny or a nanny, which is kind of like lower in life than I guess he expected to be character wise, and she's actually a lawyer, and he asks her about her if she's married and all that stuff, and she's married to a Black guy, and they're both like lawyers, Black lawyers who have a property on Martha's Vineyard. So I thought that was an interesting just like drop into like Blackness also having access to this space. Her parents own a home in the Martha's Vineyard, so that was why I thought about it for a second. Because like there was something Black about this movie that made this work.
Okay, that don't count. For the record, that's not substantive enough. It don't sound substantive enough to count. Not okay. For me. But fine, you know, and then there's another movie you saw, right?
Yes, there's another one titled "You're Dating a Narcissist," which hate the title, but have either of you heard of this one?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Marissa Tomei.
Yes.
Saw
Yeah. So essentially, she's playing an absolutely no game. She's like, I guess, a professor in the movie, and she's a psychologist who drags her bestie, played by Sherry Cola, all the way to LA to crash her daughter's sudden wedding of sorts. She's convinced the groom is a textbook narcissist, and she's not about to let her baby girl get played. And the book that she writes, and she's an author in the film, is about identifying narcissists in relationships. And essentially, she has like a YouTube podcast about trying to help women not get trapped in this. And so the whole movie plays out in that way, and it has a very similar tone to the movie we're talking about today, in that it's kind of like that travel escapist type of narrative with a ridiculous premise. Like essentially we see the mom going through all these antics to prove her daughter's fiance is, I guess, a narcissistic like scammer of sorts. And it's fun, it's playful, it has that friend lead. I would say this is a stream it as well. It would make a great like Saturday night movie with the girls. Well, actually, I don't even think you need the girls to come over for it. Just have some wine and a charcuterie board by yourself and just enjoy it. It's that type of film. So yeah, those are my two movies
Marissa Tomei playing best friends to Sherry Cola feels wild to me. Marissa Tomei, who was on A Different World back in the day.
Yeah, and she's playing Sherry a mom.
Cola? Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it makes sense in the story, I guess, sure. But also Sherry Cola, I just didn't really need her character there as much. But I get having that just like ridiculous tag along friend is just a rom-com trope. So yeah.
Okay. Brooke, we're gonna talk about You, Me, and Tuscany in a moment, but I happened to see on the Black Girl Watching Instagram that you are seated for a special early screening of a movie we'll be talking about in a couple weeks, the Michael Jackson biopic. I don't know if the embargo is up yet. I just want you to keep it top line.
The embargo is not up.
Yeah, Tre'vell, this was one of those screenings where they had on the screen embargo dates for social and for criticism. I was like, they ain't playing about this.
We won't violate. I was hoping to get a little something because I ain't
all the movies I've seen recently, the embargo is not up for. So I cannot contribute to this portion.
That's fine. That's totally fine. So in lieu of a fresh out, are there any movies on the current box office schedule that you're maybe looking forward to seeing?
I've seen them.
She's like, I've actually seen them already.
I've seen them already. I'm trying to see if is there anything maybe at the end of the year. You know, I feel like after coming off of Sinners, I have been in a space of like, that was a once in a lifetime thing. Like, there's not going to be something that I feel as excited for. Or like even Wicked Part 2, like I was super excited for that last year.
Oh, you over there in the camp with Tre'vell.
We went together.
We did.
We went together. We saw Wicked Part 2 together. We shared in that disappointment.
We did.
So yeah, I feel like once you get to that high, it's about recognizing how special and how rare that is. I do think that there are some interesting, thought-provoking, worthwhile movies that are coming up. But there's never going to be a
heard.
Okay, drop the link to the Substack. Okay,
Black girl watching.
Okay, all right. So we're going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, we are going to dive into You, Me, and Tuscany.
In You, Me, and Tuscany, Halle Bailey plays a drifting, aspiring chef who secretly crashes at an Italian villa and sparks a fiery romance with the owner's cousin, played by Regé-Jean Page.
Anna, this is Michael, my nephew.
I gotta get out of here.
Oh!
Buongiorno. Gabriella wants to give you a tour of the vineyard.
Why?
Aren't you getting married there?
Oh.
Like every movie with a black lead these days, this film's release has sparked broader conversations, including an essay by today's guest, Brooke Obie, about the exhausting and gaslighting pressure Hollywood places on black-led studio films to constantly prove their worth at the box office. Produced by Will Packer, You, Me, and Tuscany is playing in theaters now and will stream on Peacock after its theatrical run. All right, Brooke, again, I am so excited to have you here as our first guest, and something tells me this is about to be a very special conversation.
I'm ready. Let's get into it.
Okay, so before we dive into our thoughts on the movie and the discourse, let's give the director some, as we usually do. So, Tre'vell, please give us a snapshot of who's at the helm for this week's film.
Okay, yeah. So it is a Will Packer production. It is directed by Kat Coiro, I believe is how you say her name. And what I'm familiar with in her kind of filmography is a lot of TV work. I know she also did the J-Lo movie with Owen Wilson, Marry Me, from a couple years ago, which is another romance movie. But I know she was involved with the Matlock reboot, which is so good in case you are looking for something to watch on the CBS. And she also had a festival favorite back in 2013 called And While We Were Here. But I think this is the first thing of hers that I've actually seen. What about you, Ray?
I did see Marry Me. I recall seeing it, not really caring much for it, but it was fine. I think like Maluma or something played one of her love interests alongside Owen Wilson. It wasn't, not anything memorable, but I've seen her work. And I also watched She-Hulk, which she directed, Marvel She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, that had our girl Megan Thee Stallion in it. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I didn't watch that. But okay, yeah.
What about you, Brooke? Have you had any familiarity with this director's background?
So I didn't know her specifically, but I definitely have seen She-Hulk. I definitely have seen Girls Five Eva. So I know she's directed episodes of those shows. I did not watch the Marry Me film. So this was my first, I think, film of hers that I watched. And there's absolutely some beautiful cinematic shots in the film that make this, I think, very, very theater worthy.
Yeah. Well, let's get into this new drop. What was the vibe like in your theater when you went to see it? Was it a press screening or did you go with the everyday people like I do? What was the time of week, time of day, rowdy, reactive, packed, empty house? What was it giving?
So it was giving influencer screening. It was giving, there were a lot of, what was that show? Love Island people there. Not the big ones.
Damn.
I mean, it wasn't like Olandria. It wasn't Nicolandria.
Right.
There were some Love Island people there.
That is a cultural blind spot for me. I have no idea who these people are. Like, she looks like a beautiful black girl, but I don't know why she's popular.
I didn't watch that season. I did watch the season where the black couple won, and I did enjoy that, but it's too much to keep up with. I can't keep doing this to myself. But yeah, so it was great. They hopped us up on Aperol Spritzes, and I added sugar to mine, so it was actually good. And so, yeah, I came in with a buzz. They gave us a bunch of free candy, and they gave us a goodie bag with like an apron. Like, they really wanted us to enjoy the experience. And I will say that I did. We had a great DJ. I wish she had her name on the table because I was like, she's really great. I wish I knew who she was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, give us a DJ drama or something. Like,
you had a nice little vibe.
It was great. It was really cool. Mario was there. We were all expected to stand and sing the Mario song to Mario.
Sure.
So it was a fun time. And Chloe and Halle did come as well. They actually hosted the screening. So yeah, it was.
I will give it to Universal. They're pretty good at creating buzz with their screenings because they got budget, they got money to do so. And Will Packer don't play. Like his press runs, I have worked on many Will Packer press runs, and them screenings do be fun. But yeah, nice. Tre'vell, what about you?
I went to a press screening earlier this week with a friend, Ryan Mitchell, as you both know. And it was just a regular press screening. I think there were 6 Black people in our theater, one of which was Beyondria July. Shout out to Beyondria. Yes. And then the other 3 were, I would call them aunties. They were older Black women. Maybe even grandmas, no shade, but they were older Black women. I'll come back to that in a moment. But it was press. And so not too much, rah-rah or energy. But it was interesting to be in that kind of room for this film that, I don't know, we've been having a lot of discourse around it being like, this Black rom-com, or at least Black-led rom-com. And so I had some expectations that we will get into shortly. Ray, at the movie theater down at the AMC on opening weekend, how was it for you?
I went to see the Thursday preview, and I went to a 2 p.m. showing. So it was early in the day, and I was actually surprised to walk in and see damn near a packed theater. Like, the only seats that were open were the very front row at the bottom, and it was full of aunties, but these were like retiree ages because it was Thursday at 2:00, so that crowd. But I was really happy just to see so many of them pack out this theater at that time of day, which tells me people are either heeding to the call of showing up for Black movies or really excited just to see us on screen. So, I mean, it was great. They were reactive in the moments that, I found funny. There were things that I found funny that they did not get clearly that were probably younger references. But yeah, it was a pretty good vibe for me.
Okay. That's interesting. Because you just saw it last night. As we're recording this you saw it last night. And I'm glad to hear that the aunties were there. I wonder if they just because you're also in Miami, and I think that's important information. I wonder if they just like a Will Packer. If it's the Will Packer Productions name that brought them out, not necessarily Halle Bailey.
And while we're on this point, I think this is a good time for me to mention that I do have a storied history with Will Packer. 1, he's an alumni of my university. And 2, I've worked with him professionally. Yes, he gave me my first, opportunity to kind of step my foot into the film and entertainment industry. So I've worked with him in the past, but that experience does not influence my
your
opinion on this movie
cannot
in any way.
Trusted, is what you're saying.
I am still going to be unbiased and unswayed because, I believe in being honest and truthful about how movies land on us. But, I do have love for my Rattler brother, and he was, pretty fundamental in my career development. So, yeah.
I will also disclose on that point. Will Packer is also my frat brother with Alpha Phi Alpha. And I also worked for Will Packer Media he gave me my first editor-in-chief position at Exo Nicole.
Come on, First Fam. All right, Brooke. So in your essay, you mentioned that you were going into your screening just hoping the movie was good.
Yes.
Now that you've seen it, were you able to turn off that hyper awareness of what this movie represents and just enjoy the Italian getaway?
So I never bought, that was kind of the premise of my article. I never bought into this idea that this movie is going to do anything for anybody. It will make a lot of money for its producers and, hopefully its stars, depending on their contracts. I don't know the details, but I never I never believed that, this viral story of, if we don't all go to the theater, then they'll never let us have another rom-com. They do whatever they want to do. We had billions of dollars that these studios got from Black Panther. Where are the other Black sci-fi movies? We don't have them.
Yeah.
They're not there. So
I highly, highly encourage all of you all listening to go back and read her essay on this. It's titled "Hollywood is Gaslighting Black Folks Again," with the subtitle, "We are defined by our flops and our successes are flukes. How can we win when they keep moving the goalposts?" I think this was such an excellent read. The moment I read this, I texted Tre'vell like, "Tre'vell, it's time we have our first guest on, and I want to bring on Brooke to touch on this topic," because it really hit me. Like, as someone who's worked in marketing, like, I keep seeing this narrative over and over again, and I was like, this is the perfect time to bring you in. So thank you for always kind of like holding truth to power in that way and speaking to the thing. But yeah, Tre'vell, what about you? Were you able to like go in and just enjoy the vibes as well?
I mean, yeah, I was gonna go regardless because I see Black people, and that's what my movie going politic is, right? When the Black people's in the front, Tre'vell will be seated,
Period.
But the movie it didn't look good, respectfully, like in terms of the marketing and stuff. Like it didn't do anything special or unique, that to pull me in. And so when this discourse bubbled up, to be quite honest, part of me was like, oh, the people who don't know much about this industry are talking again, is how I felt, right? And I know the original poster and how this all came to be, but my response was like, they say this every time.
Yeah.
Right. They say this any time it's been a few years and we haven't had a Black-led kind of a movie of a certain type. They say, oh my God, they did it with Black Panther. They did it with Moonlight. They've done it even further back, right? I think of the Black films don't travel myth. Right? That continuously gets recycled right along with this same idea here. Like, it's actually something that's been happening since the start of this industry. And so what I appreciated about your piece, Brooke, was the kind of sober-minded approach to this. And it's like, if you want to go see the movie, go watch the movie. But like thinking that you going to watch the movie is actually legitimately connected to, whether they're actually going to give us a quote unquote another one. These people are going to do what they want to do, whether you show up to the theater or not, respectfully.
Yeah. All right, well, let's dig in. Setting aside the industry pressure for a moment, did this movie work for you all purely as an escapist rom-com? Did Halle and Regé-Jean deliver on their chemistry together on screen? How do you feel?
I think it was very cute. I think one of the biggest complaints that I was hearing is why isn't this on streaming? I think they proved why it should be on a big screen. It did make me want to go to Tuscany. I think they had some gorgeous, cinematic shots of Tuscany that made you want to go there, that made you feel the scope of the place, that made you feel the warmth and the love. I loved the family. I thought Halle's chemistry with the family was really great. It was giving My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I really loved that. I was hesitant about Regé-Jean Page's chemistry with Halle because he is significantly older than her. He's 12 to 13 years older than her. And she is 25 and talking about she's in her grown woman era. He's been in his grown man era for over a decade. You know what I'm saying? So I was I was a little concerned about that, but he didn't actually look that much older than her in the movie. So it didn't bother me. And I think, I think their chemistry was cute. So, I think she is a star. I really did enjoy her. I think, it just kind of also goes to a lot of the biases that we have. She's, just got the cutest face and she has the Disney princess voice. And so, she can literally murder people and everybody would be like, oh, this is precious. You broke into our house and stole a ring and oh, well, now we're all together. So this is great. And I think it works because she's just so cute. And I think she does does a great job in the movie. And yeah, I loved it.
I love that you brought up the age gap because there was a moment that in a scene where the sun was very much so out and broad where I was like, actually, how old is Regé-Jean Page? And I actually was ready to Google his age just because I felt like he may have been considerably older than Halle. Anyway, Tre'vell, what about you? How did this land on you?
I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine, and I think we should have fine movies. You know what I mean? Everything doesn't need to blow me, blow my wig back. And this did not, but it was fine. I hate that so much of that pressure that you mentioned has been put on it, because I think that is going to warp people's opinion more. But at its root, I thought it was fine, and there are plenty of rom-coms that we've gotten over these decades, right? That are fine. Those fine movies deserve to be made as well. It was interesting for me because, again, I just show up for the Black people. And so when I realized that there were, I'm going to say 2.5 in prominent role, significant to the story, and that they were flanked by all of these white folks. I just wasn't expecting that. Let me say it like that. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting that. But it was a cute movie, as Brooke said. I enjoyed it overall. Will I watch it again? Probably not.
To your point about there being just 2.5 Black people in this movie, the moment they said this movie was set in Tuscany, I knew that was going to be the case. I said, oh, all right, we finna basically get niggas, we're finna get us in Paris, where we're going to be fish out of water in other people's environment. But I will say, and I have to admit, Brooke, you mentioned this earlier about the My Big Fat Greek Wedding vibe. And for me, that film was kind of seminal in setting my taste in rom-coms. It was kind of like my gateway to the rom-com genre, honestly. Like, it's also one of my all-time favorite rom-coms as a result. I quote it constantly. People never get it when I bring out the, what you mean you don't eat no meat? But it was so great seeing Nia Vardalos in this. In the very start of the film, I was like, oh, so this is what we're doing. And it kind of settled me into that really well. And I knew what type of tone we may have been getting into just seeing her face on screen. And even though You, Me, and Tuscany doesn't quite hit those iconic lightning in a bottle highs for me, I still found myself easily relaxing into the familiarity of that story, especially with that intense meddling family dynamic. It felt like cinematic comfort food to me. So Tre'vell and Brooke, when a rom-com leans that heavily into the classic predictable beats of the genre, does that familiarity work out as cozy for you? Does it feel like you're finding yourself wishing the movie could color outside the lines a little bit more? Tell me more about that.
So I think, Big Fat Greek Wedding was also, seminal for me as well. As even in my writing career, it was like I was writing a rom-com. I was trying to find one that did not have the man treating the woman terribly at first before they get together, or they get together in a really inappropriate way, like a boss and a teacher, or boss and a employee or teacher student. And then I think the other one was there's no tragedy or something that brings them together to manipulate this love. And Big Fat Greek Wedding is literally one of the only movies that we have where the problems are all outside of the relationship. It's not the two people. So, because of it being that iconic and rare to have a healthy love story where the problems are outside and it's not the people being mean to each other, and then because this was leaning into that, you can't from the premise. It's based on a lie. And You, Me, and Tuscany, she's lying to everybody. She's lying to this guy that she's falling in love with. You're not going to have that non-toxic element to it. So it's not really comforting to me, but I guess I'm so used to it that I'm just I was hoping for maybe something a little more revolutionary because it's so, leaning into Big Fat Greek Wedding. But it just, I think it did what it was supposed to do. I laughed.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
And that point of like, I laughed, I think that's what I left it being like, you know what? Yeah, my time was worth it. I laughed, right?
Nice.
To your question, Ray, I don't know. It definitely didn't make me feel more comfortable. And maybe that's because I don't connect to, at least those base references in the ways that you two have articulated. And I very much so also wanted something more. I just wanted something, more. I think the fact that it held so closely to some of those traditional beats was a letdown for me. But that also might just be me, and how I set up my particular expectations. I didn't believe the chemistry between Halle and Regé-Jean. There were moments that I was like, oh, that's cute. But overall, I was like, oh, I think they're nice friends or something. I felt like, to your point, you mentioned this earlier, Brooke, I think Halle had great chemistry with the family. And that was actually a surprise for me. But, I did leave it saying that like, oh, somebody need to go back to class. And, I hope that don't come off as mean, but I just was like, I
don't think there's a such thing as mean in criticism. Like how a thing lands on you is...
there is such thing as mean.
Sure there is. Absolutely.
Maybe I'm the problem because I love a mean criticism, child. So maybe I'm the problem.
But I just felt like, I guess what I want to say around it is because my only filmic reference for Halle is The Little Mermaid. To me, in so many ways, this role was kind of, it seemed like it was positioned as like that adult announcement. Like, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm not the Nickelodeon star, the child star anymore. I'm a woman. I'm in my grown woman era. And I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it all the time. Let me say it like that. I didn't believe it all the time. Because like I said, there were moments.
I didn't quite land on it even feeling like a woman announcement either. I guess I'm more in the lane. It landed on me as like Britney Spears, I'm not a girl, not yet a woman vibe for me, because she didn't quite reach those like spaces of true provocative character. It just felt like she was playing another version of a in between like Disney princess almost. Like it was very safe, very PG. Like the whole family can watch this movie, even down to the point of like
it's not a bad thing. It's
not a bad thing. In marketing, we have a thing called 4 quadrants where we're trying to hit all 4 corners of the market. And this is definitely one of those. Like you can take your kid, take your grandma, take your homegirls, and then it's going to be one of those films that everyone can at least get through. It may not land for everybody, but you'll actually be able to just sit through a movie with them. What were you going to say, Brooke? I saw you revving up.
There was one point, like when the grandma was this was her attempt at humor, I guess, talking about Halle tapping her grandson's like ass, like having sex with her grandson. Like we could have left that out. I don't know if we need the kids kids to watch that. But yeah, there was no like sex scene. Like literally he takes his shirt off. That's pretty much it. She like kind of rides him for a half a second while she's getting over on top of him, trying to get out of the car. But yeah, it was, I guess I didn't think about that. But yeah, it is pretty safe. But I feel like the grossest part for me was her wearing that white woman's underwear.
Okay. Okay, what are we doing?
That was Mia from
Oh yes,
Mia.
yeah, top of the film. Yeah, that was
top
pretty
of the
gross.
film.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is this? That's when I was like, maybe a white person definitely wrote this. Like, we don't do that. We don't do that.
While we are here, I want to talk about the dialogue for a second because there were some very culturally specific lines sprinkled throughout the film that caught my ear. We have Anna talking about getting her edges wet at one point, and then Claire, who's her best friend in the movie, drops a joke about Mateo being a spicy white. And those things did feel very authentic to how these characters would speak in real life. But I looked at the credits and the script was penned, like you mentioned, by a white man and woman, Ryan and Kristen Engel, who I believe are married to each other. And I didn't see any cultural consultant listed anywhere. So when you have a film where the dialogue feels like it's trying to be rooted in Black culture, but the credited writers don't share that background, how do you process that as a critic? And does it feel like the actors are successfully bringing their own flavor on the page, or does it push the film into a murkier territory for you? I'm thinking like possible appropriations. How does that land for you?
Also because I know that there's ghostwriting that happens where you can do a pass and you won't get credit for it, but you'll get a check. So maybe somebody did a black pass. I don't know. Or maybe the actors pushed for certain things to be said, or even, the producer could have pushed for some certain things to be said and fixed in the script. Or, any of those things could have happened. I always... I know that actors like to collaborate, but I would prefer that they don't have to speak up for their Blackness, be in a role that's supposed where they've been cast. Like I would prefer, like this is an issue I think with the drama that you guys were talking about last week. I don't think it should be their responsibility to do that. I think it should be in the material that the work should have been done for them. So hopefully it was already done for them. It didn't. The edges thing did get me because I was just like, you have locks.
You have locks.
Right.
What are we talking about?
Right.
That felt, I don't know, but she does, I guess, gel her edges down. It does look noticeably different when it gets wet. So maybe there was something to that.
Yeah.
But that got me. I'm just like, what are we talking about? Yeah. And it felt like a mirror to that scene in Something New where Sanaa Lathan, she's been with the Black guy, so she has to press her hair out and be, the corporate Black Barbie. And then when she gets with the white guy and she's running to stop her hair from getting wet because it will actually shrink up, like there's an actual consequence. I was like, I felt like they were trying to do that. So maybe they just watched a bunch of Black movies and said, let's put this. But I don't know. It didn't bother me though. I guess it was, it was fine.
Yeah, it didn't bother me either. I definitely rolled my eyes at that moment, but fine. I do want to highlight and shout out Aziza Scott, who plays Halle Bailey's best friend.
So let me get this straight. You meet some random rich white boy.
He's Italian.
So some random rich spicy white boy tells you all about his Nona, and you decide that that's a sign to go to Italy tonight? Mm-hmm. You can't even afford an apartment. You don't have a job, friend.
She also was in One of Them Days last year.
Yes.
Now, I think the majority of my laughs came from her. No shade. She was hitting it. She was the one in the character she plays, right? To me was the she's funny, like the roundaway girl. She like the black, if you will, character. Her and Coco. And I like that, and I appreciated that, and I thought that she every time her voice came, onto the screen, like it brightened me up. And so I want to shout her out and her performance in particular.
I'm guessing she's that half in the 2.5 Black characters that you mentioned earlier.
She is my half. She is my half. Yes.
I wish we could have got more of her on screen, but as you mentioned, she comes through most of her dialogue via phone calls and texts. But she was so colorful in the film in a way that I definitely appreciated having. And I think that's like more of the character Tre'vell that last week you were mentioning we wish we got in the dramas. Like just that, one Black homegirl just to bring perspective for us as, Black audience members at the very least.
A little something, something.
Yeah, just a little something, something. So it was really, I think, a fun experience watching this movie and kind of like going through the streets of Tuscany. And I have to admit, I have another confession. I am an absolute sucker for movies that are basically just excuses to take us on gorgeous vacations abroad. Some of my favorites in that mode are Mamma Mia, Book Club, and The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, which, we ain't really in those movies. But in a lot of ways, You, Me, and Tuscany feels like a direct descendant of those pack your bags, drink wine, and make messy choices in Europe classics. So Brooke and Tre'vell, when you want to scratch that specific travel escapism itch, what are your personal go-to movies? What is your ultimate chaotic vacation comfort watch that strikes a familiar tone for you?
Oh, I mean, I love Sister of the Traveling Pants. I love being in Greece. That was really great. I also, Something's Gotta Give. Like, I love them in Paris. But I feel like I have been decolonizing. I feel like I've become too woke, as they say, for these, because I'm just like, and I heard that the next version of Girls Trip is going to take place in like Ghana or Nigeria or something like that. And that's kind of what I want to see. Like I had some, when I want to scratch the itch, I go myself. I've been to, I just came back from South Africa.
Cheers to the Girls Weekend.
Period. So, South Africa was amazing. I just did that last year for my 40th birthday. And like, I just, I want to see us there. I want to see more stories about Black people returning and actually wrestle with the complicated nature of Black Americans specifically going back to Africa, because I got an education when I was there, when I was touring the slave castles in Accra and all of that. I got an education about the ways that we are still colonized and colonizing each other, and living in that mentality. So I want to see a movie that's going to wrestle kind of with that. I'm kind of over the European vacation thing, but I do want to go to Tuscany now. So they were successsul.
And that's why I felt like a guilty confession, because I was like, I know that the hotep in the back of my mind is shouting like, how dare you love these movies? But I do. I can't help it. Yeah.
Yes.
Tre'vell, what about you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what falls into this category of like the travel abroad. Because Last Holiday is one of my favorite rom-coms.
Oh, yeah.
It's
that counts.
It's also a holiday movie. She go to the Grand Poop Hotel. Yeah. And then I also thought of Cheetah Girls 2.
Oh, period.
Okay. I'm always bring a Cheetah Girls reference when I can. And so that's another movie that I think of that like, I will watch either one of those movies all the time. But I love what you said, Brooke, about like wanting to see more movies of us going to Africa, right? Various spots, various places across the whole continent. I would love to see that, and grappling with, like you said, the particulars around that. I think that could be really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have really enjoyed unpacking this movie with y'all. But before we get into our final verdict on this film, are there any last thoughts that either of you have that we didn't get into in our chat already? Speaking now or forever hold your peace, as they would say. I feel like Brooke is over there just trying to restrain. You cooking. What is it, Brooke? Just let it out.
I don't know. I feel like we did it. I feel like we covered it.
We did.
Nice.
We hit on it. I mean, I'd say overall, it's a cute movie, And I guess to your point, Ray, I'll move us into our seat it, skip it, or stream it recommendation. Brooke, those are your three options.
I say seated. I feel like they definitely justified going to the theater for this. It's a beautiful experience to see Tuscany on screen like that. And there's some really great cinematic shots of Halle Bailey in the window of the car, and you see her reflection as she's living her double life. There's a lot of symbolism and stuff like it's. I feel like they were doing something very interesting with the visual language that should be on a big screen.
Nice. Well, I'm going to join in this chorus and say it's a seated for me too. And it's just because I love the idea of the whimsy of it all. Bring whimsy back in films. And to your point earlier about wanting to see us travel abroad, sure, it's a bit formulaic in what it's doing, but just having a Black girl and a Black man on screen in this scenario felt like something I just wanted to see without high stakes, high racial stakes. It wasn't like, oh, this Black girl, you in danger, girl. It was more like, no, it's just a Black girl living abroad, doing something that we've seen these white people do for years on screen in this type of setting. And so for me, those are the reasons why it's succeeded. Take us out, Tre'vell. What say you on this matter?
I'm gonna say seated. I'll join y'all. I'll allow peer pressure to work on me today because I agree with both of you, and particularly what you said, Brooke, about there are some beautiful shots that very much so justify seeing it on the big screen. You are absolutely right, and yeah, and I think overall it would be worth your money, your $20, $25, I think you would leave being like, oh, that was cute, but not like a shady that was cute, but like that was cute.
Yeah. Nice. Well, there you have it, folks. We've got a unanimous seated for this week's episode discussing You, Me, and Tuscany. Now, Tre'vell, I want to get into what the people down to the audience and the critics are saying. What do we got?
Yes, so we like to check out the tomato meter over at the Rotten Tomatoes. It's currently at 73%, so not horrible. Brooke's face.
It's gone down. It started at 85.
Oh, more people are seeing, more people are writing, more reviews are coming out. And then the letter or the popcorn meter rating, so that's the audience, is a lot higher. So the audience is 94%. Audience is really enjoying it. Right.
Nice.
Which I would expect. I would expect critics to be overall, the majority of critics to be and then the audience, because I do think this is something that the audience will really, really like.
Nice. And it's just, opening day. So those things will, of course, change as more people see it.
They'll be different by the time you all are watching this.
Hell, it was different just from when we built the script last night. So,
so there's that. And then for our Black Critic Spotlight of the Week, we are spotlighting, outside of Brooke, obviously, and Black Girl Watching, we are spotlighting George M. Thomas, who is a veteran journalist and film critic writing for the Akron Beacon Journal, which is the daily newspaper in Akron, Ohio. George says, amid the occasional predictable moment and cliche, You, Me, and Tuscany proves to be a surprising diamond in the rough with likable characters and moments that charm. And all right, I would agree with that.
Same. All right, well, that'll do it for our review this week of You, Me, and Tuscany. Let us know what you thought about the film in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already.
Yes, and be sure to join the gang over at cdshoww.com/join. We're going to take a quick break, and then for the first time ever, I will have an opponent in Black Cinema Games. Okay? Yes. You're going to want to stay tuned.
Back again, and now it's time for my favorite segment this week and every week, Black Cinema Games. Pew, 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 pew. Cue that music, yes. So now usually when we have Black leads, our trivia centers around their catalog. But since our leads here have shorter resumes with fewer roles theatrically, to make for a truly challenging game this week, we're going to do something a little bit different. Mm-hmm. So considering this week's movie, You, Me, and Tuscany, is produced by one of our Black box office producer titans who's amassed over $1 billion at the box office throughout his career, it felt apt that we make this week's Black Cinema Games all about him. So this week's and today's episode, we're going to be doing a Will Packer edition of Black Cinema Games. And as the kids were saying, Will Packer, you the birthday.
Oh, please cut it out.
Are y'all ready? And this week we have a contender for Tre'vell, so this is going to be fun.
Yes, I'm ready. Are you ready, Brooke?
I'm ready. Let's go.
So today, how it's going to work, I'm going to give you 3 clues about different films that Will Packer has worked on. They're all going to be rom-com related. He's done quite a few films in his career. And the first to answer gets the point. It's that simple.
Okay, let's do it.
So for our first film, we're going to call this the Remake Roulette. And your first clue, this film is a contemporary reimagining of a 1974 David Mamet play originally titled Sexual Perversity in Chicago. Clue number 2, the lead actor was 40 at the time of...
Is it Trois?
Nope. The lead actor, Michael Ealy, was 40 at the time of filming, but playing a 28-year-old. He reportedly lost 25 pounds to look youthfully lean enough for this role. Cue number 3. While the film follows two couples, the breakout B-plot couple stole the show so effectively that it led to them being cast together in 5 more films. Do either of you have it?
No.
I have no clue. I can't even tell you what Michael Ealy been in. I was about to go with Tyler Perry production, but that's, wrong.
I'll give you the co-leads in that second B-plot couple.
Okay.
It was Regina Hall and Kevin Hart.
Oh, Think Like a Man?
Close. It has
Baggage
3 words. It has 3 words in the title. It came out in 2014.
It's not Think Like a Man?
No.
Right. Oh, gosh.
I can't believe this stumped you guys, but this was
I haven't watched it.
It's I guess a deep cut in Will Packer's catalog, but it was About Last Night.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't watch it.
Damn.
I don't know.
This was one of the first films I worked on when I was working for the agency back in the day.
Oh, I do recall this.
It was.
I know the film.
Same.
That hashtag lingered on social media for too long. Everybody was talking about Last Night for everything they did the night before. But yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's move on down. Currently, we're still even. No one has a point on the board. We're going to title this category The Blueprint. Your first clue. Before he was a global superstar, this young R&B singer appears in this film as Alex, a guy who gets rejected by Megan Good's character for not following the 90-day rule.
I'll Think Like a Man.
You got it, Brooke. There you go. We already got a point on the board. Got to be quicker than that, Tre'vell.
I heard 90-day rule. There's only one.
You're right.
Yes.
We gotta blame Steve Harvey or whomever.
Right.
All right. Brooke has 1 on the board, and Tre'vell has 0.
Oh no, that was good. That was good.
We're gonna tie soon. It's fine.
Category number 3, the $100 million milestone.
Girls Trip.
Damn, I didn't even get it out.
Well, yeah.
I guess that was the first clue. All right, Brooke got 2 on the board. All right, Tre'vell,
so
come on here.
See, y'all know I'm slow-minded. I take time. I got a process.
She's sharp, child. She's sharp.
I expected nothing less.
Category number 4 is titled The Mind Reader. Clue number 1. This film features a who's who of the sports world in a high-stakes poker scene, including Mark Cuban, Shaquille O'Neal, and Grant Hill. Clue number 2.
Is it
the
not?
catalyst for the film's supernatural premise involves a potent herbal tea administered by a psychic named Sister, played by the legendary Erykah Badu.
Oh, I don't know.
Clue number 3. This film is a loose Atlanta set remake of a 2000 Nancy Meyers rom-com that originally starred Mel Gibson and Helen Hunt.
Oh, wait, no, that's not his movie.
Think Like a Man. No. How to Be a Woman
with Taraji Henson.
Yes, it's Taraji
stars. Yes.
He Got Game.
It came out 2019.
It's Think Like a Man, but it's not. It's
Straight No Chaser.
In this movie,
the
character can hear the thoughts of the opposite sex.
How to Lose a Man in 60 Days.
Tre'vell.
What a Man Wants.
What Women Want. What Women Want.
Yes, Brooke got it. What Women Want. You were close, Tre'vell, but it's wrong gender. Wrong gender. Actually, no.
What Men Want.
Yes, What Men Want. Yes, yeah.
I knew it was
all right.
You can give it to her.
Think Like a Man. Think it was a thing.
Brooke has 3. Tre'vell, you sitting at 0. Come on, Tre'vell. Pull up.
Listen, I will always bow to black women. Okay.
I think you might get this last film. All right. This last category is called...
I appreciate that.
It's called The Mood Piece. And this film's lush romantic atmosphere is anchored by a score composed by multi-Grammy winning jazz pianist Robert Glasper. Clue number 2, the narrative structure is split between a modern-day romance in New York and a 1980s era love story set in the small town of Grand Isle, Louisiana.
The Photograph.
Yes, come on, Tre'vell. We got one on the board. Lord, I knew if I got to this last clue, you'll get it. Yes, he did.
I forgot
he did. It was. It came out in 2020, so right before the pandemic. So it had that last release before lockdown. So I see how folks may have forgotten.
Stella Maggie.
I just thought it was the Issa Rae production.
Yeah, no.
So that was
because she stars in it. Yeah.
I think was this her first? Did she do this before or after what? Little with Marcel. I think this was after.
Yeah, that was after because I interviewed. So. Yeah. I interviewed them without a mask on for Little.
Makes sense. Not without a mask on. Child, Brooke don't play. She gonna wear that mask. Don't be surprised.
You know better now, okay?
Know better, do better.
Okay.
All right, Tre'vell. So
Brooke me one. Is that how to
Brooke 3, you won, but there's still a chance for you, Tre'vell. Bonus round. So, as you know, we do extra bonus point opportunity in such an incident where we have this type of situation, and we can do this for this producer because he has enough films. If you can guess Will Packer's 4 known for films, you get 1 point per film, which can put you in the lead. So, Tre'vell, do you happen to know what the known for films are?
Will Packer Productions. Wow. Did he do this? And
if you don't get it, Brooke gets a chance to jump in. All right, your first guess is a no. It's not one of his known for. He did do it, but he's not known for it. It's not his known for.
He known for it by me. Girls Trip.
That is 1, so you have an extra point, putting you 3-2.
Did he do like didn't I say this baggage claim? He didn't do that?
That's your third guess, but it's not one of his known for, and he did not do baggage claim.
Oh, okay. See, I'm be mixing up people. And I got one more guess.
One more guess.
Will Packer Production. Brooke
actually mentioned this earlier.
Oh, okay. What did we mention earlier? Think Like a Man.
Damn. Nope, not that one. All right, Brooke, you got a chance to put some more points on the board. Do you possibly know what the missing 3 are? Tre'vell just got 1 point, with it being 3-2.
I know my favorite Will Packer movie is This Christmas.
Well, that's not one. No.
Oh, well.
That's
how I know him.
Movie. It's a great movie.
You got 2 more guesses.
Okay. Oh, no. Little?
No. 1 more guess.
Oh.
You named this earlier. This is one of his earliest works.
Oh, Toi.
Yes, Toi. All right, you got an extra point on the board. So now it's 4-2. So Will Packer's known for movies are Girls Trip, Beast, Takers, and Toi. Do y'all remember Takers?
Yes,
I do remember Takers.
Idris Elba and T.I. And Christopher Brown. Yes.
Yeah. And Beast was the Idris Elba led film. I wasn't really
with the CGI lion.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that was a Will Packer production.
It was indeed.
We were there.
It was
at that era.
Oh, okay.
We were
in that era.
It was his last theatrical release. Actually, I'm really surprised that this made his known for films.
Oh wow!
But, yeah.
Okay.
All right, Brooke. Well, you are the winner this week.
Known for on IMDb?
Known for on IMDb, yeah.
Okay, that makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. So 4-2, Brooke, you are crowned the winner as our first ever guest. I think this is appropriate, so shout outs to you. All right, Tre'vell, take us home with our final segment.
Yes, that's our Good Vibes Only segment. This is where we make recommendations of things that are keeping our vibes up or might keep your vibes up. We will start with you, Brooke. What recommendation do you have for the people?
So my recommendation is The Comic Shop on YouTube. It is a web series by Cheyenne Iwulu. She raised money for this, I think $100,000 or something ridiculous like that and put together her own web series. And it was incredible. It was a great series. And I'm thinking of it right now because I got to meet one of the stars of the show at my screening for You, Me, and Tuscany. So it's top of mind. So I met Shanae Cole.
Nice.
At the screening, who stars in it. And it's just very cute. It's Black, nerdy people who are running a comic shop, and they're trying to live their dreams of, being nerds and selling comics to other fellow nerds. And it's really funny and it's really cute.
I'm actually really glad you brought that up because Comic Shop was actually one of our selections for Film Good, which is, one of our supporters here at Seated. It's a program I run with the Walk Good organization. And it was, I think, may have been their first film festival selection or appearance. And it was just really great being in community and seeing this, especially something that crowdfunded in 2020. Like, how hard it is to crowdfund a project now. We're long past the days of awkward Black girls. So yeah, I love that. What was your choice? What was your option for good vibes only this week, Tre'vell?
For me, I'm going to recommend one of the recent episodes of the Sam Sanders show titled What Are the Best Rom-Coms Ever? And it is a conversation between Sam. I should have looked up the white woman's name. I don't remember it. Apologies. As well as Ryan Mitchell. And they are deciding on the best rom-coms ever. It's not particularly Black enough for me, but it is a really interesting conversation that they have about what makes a good rom-com and why many of us love this genre. So I would suggest that for you all for a fun little, conversation around rom-coms. Ray, what about you?
I did listen to the episode, so I know who was the guest. It was Liz Plank. And I agree with you. It was not enough Black rom-coms up in there for me. I was absolutely arguing back at my headphones, I guess. So yes, I highly support that recommendation. My recommendation this week, I mentioned earlier that I love that we got a Black girl doing whimsy. We need more whimsy in this world. And so appropriately, my recommendation is actually a jazz alt album titled Whimsy by Destin Conrad, which was released last year. Are either of you familiar with this by chance?
I know about the person, but I don't know the album.
I just stumbled into it because I have Apple Music and I'll just play a random album, and this played. I was like, this is good. And it's I don't know how to describe it. It's jazz, but I guess they call it an alternative jazz album for a reason. And he's a queer Black artist. And so he's singing very much to his experience. And it features musical virtuosos like Terrence Martin and Keyon Harrell, if you're familiar with them. And it feels like an intimate experimental exploration of quiet complexities of modern love through the Black gay experience. And it's designed to feel like a soulful late night jam session centered on vulnerability. It's whimsical, it's light, it's a little airy. I really appreciated this album. So that's Whimsy by Destin Conrad. Give it a listen. We have some great recommendations this week. Thank you for bringing us some sauce over here to Seated this week, Brooke. We really appreciated having you. And folks, check out all of these recommendations. Brooke, before we get out of here, tell the people where they can find you and plug anything that you may want folks to tap into.
You can find me at blackgirlwatching.com and Brooke Obie everywhere. Tap into being a paid subscriber, y'all. I am so grateful for all the paid subscribers because it really helps me to keep going. And it feels good to know that the work is actually being valued. I feel like film criticism is a public good, and I feel like it should be accessible to everybody. But also, it's valuable work. So
it absolutely is. And it's work that the public should invest in, okay?
Invest. Yes.
Make sure y'all go to blackgirlwatching.com. Every time you see Black Girl Watching pop up on your socials, make sure you are clicking and reading and sharing and amplifying the wonderful work that Brooke is doing. Thanks again for joining us, Brooke.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for all of your support. I really appreciate both of y'all. Y'all are my faves.
Absolutely. And that'll do it for this week's episode. Again, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the show with your friends. Tell the people that they need to tap in over here at seatedshow.com/join.
See you at the movies.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, share with a friend. If you're watching us on YouTube, give us a like and tap that subscribe button. And if you're listening, give us a 5-star rating and review us in your podcast app or wherever you're tapping in today. It'll really help folks find us as we grow. Seated is an independently funded production, and your support can help us go further. Consider becoming a card-carrying member of the Seated Movie Club at seatedshow.com/join, where we'll bring you more of this popcorn-worthy content, special events, and more. And how do we do all that we do? Well, you know it's not by ourselves. Our theme music was created by Buckroll and animation by Ashung Adi, with creative consulting by Jade Fox and publicity support by House of Heralds. This week's episode was edited by me, Ray Love Jr. Seated is a co-production of Slay-Jean and 5011 Media. It's hosted and produced by Tre'vell Anderson and Ray Love Jr. and filmed on location at the Walk-Good Yard. See you at the movies. Holla!
Oh, I just thought of one.
Oh, it's not too late to share.
It's not? Okay, thank God. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Because
right.
and I just wrote about this. By the time this comes out, it should be out on Black Girl Watching. But Fright. Fright is on Starz. It stars J. Alphonse Nicholson in a one-man show. So this was a play that I actually got to see him do live here in LA. And they filmed it over 2 or 3 days. And it's now streaming on Starz. And it is just as phenomenal streaming as it was watching him live. He is a genius. I mean, he plays every role. And it is it's as if Kendrick Lamar's Reincarnated was a play. And that's it's a very spiritual, experience. It's about ancestry, how, just repeating life patterns, it's about karma, being able to free yourself and your future timeline from things that you did in your past. It's a very healing, very beautiful, very incredible performance that should put J. Alphonse Nicholson on everybody's radar. If you don't know him from P-Valley, if you don't know him from Just Mercy, you should get to know him because he is that guy.
Child, don't mention P-Valley over here. We still waiting for this alleged season to drop.
We waiting for the tank to reopen, y'all. We still, they say it's coming though. They say it's coming. I love that recommendation, Brooke. Thank you for that.
I think I may have saw this on the program at last year's ABFF. It was so long ago, I can't remember. Was it?
Yes, it was at ABFF.
Okay. Cool. Well, I love that. I didn't actually get to see it because it conflicted with the screening of, what was the movie that Danielle Detweiler did? 40 Acres. Yes, it conflicted with that screening. And you know where I was at. I was over there with Danielle Detweiler.
Fair.
I love that recommendation.
Fair.